podcast on the Entrepreneur Life Network, where we dream, believe, and achieve. You feel me? Today, guess I'm gonna get my homeboy on T Plain, man. Me and T Plain go way back to Garvey days, so we like 30 years plus in the game. You feel me? I'm gonna let him tell you about himself, but I'm gonna tell you about how I know him. So we went to school together, high school, middle school. A lot of people that I went to elementary and middle school with, and high school with, but more for sure elementary, middle school. We still locked in too. You feel me? Because we known each other for like 30 years. So my man, he doing this thing. He a professional coach. He helping me with my personal and professional development. You feel me? He gonna talk to y'all about that. So I'm just here to give him a brief introduction before we get him on the show. You know, make sure y'all follow us on YouTube, Entrepreneur Life Network, and follow us on IG too, Living Life Learning Podcast. Living Life Learning underscore podcast. My bad, y'all. This is my first episode. You know, I've been on this podcast journey for a minute, man. Having the stuff to do with me and bro before I left Detroit was on the podcast stuff. We ain't really get it popping all the way. Me and Nick Cash was on the podcast stuff. We was getting it going, but now I got everything I need in my arsenal and I'm ready to execute and get comfortable being uncomfortable. So this what it is, you feel me? The Entrepreneur Life Network, this is my main brand right here, Entrepreneur Life, where we dream, believe, and achieve. So that's that. I'm really just waiting on bro. I sent him the link so he can tap in and we gonna get it together. You feel me? This the first episode of many here on Living Life and Learning Podcast. We gonna be interviewing entrepreneurs that I personally know who I feel like is successful or they on the road to being successful and they've been working and they've been grinding and they've been doing what the podcast called Living Life and Learning. You feel me? That's what we doing. We living life and we learning. I just came up with the name like I was riding with the wife one day and it just came to me. God just sent it to me. Live life and learn it. I'm like, dang, that's deep. That's deep. I liked it. I told her. She said she liked it. I'm like, I'm gonna roll with that for the name of the podcast, for my personal podcast. Me and her also got a podcast coming called Let's Talk About It. But on here, I'm gonna be interviewing people, other people besides entrepreneurs too, because everybody ain't always an entrepreneur. You feel me? But even though that's what we gonna be specializing in, we gonna be doing interviews with other people who've been living life and learning. You know what I'm saying? Whether they up or whether they down, but that don't have nothing to do with the knowledge and information that the person holds, whether they got some money or not. You know what I'm saying? We walk past bums on the street that's been millionaires before. And that's for real. Don't think you haven't because you have. You really have, and you just don't know it. There's people out here on drugs who have more money than you can think of. But they made a bad choice or a bad decision or something happened that they couldn't come back from and they ended up in the position that they is. So that's still living life and learning. We might have somebody on the show going through some things that you might have went through, however the case may be, you gonna be able to learn something from them. Never judge a book by its cover. Let me see. That's how we doing it. We started off. Bro, did you get the email?
Let me see. I was actually trying to tag you in the post right now.
All right, when you done, just hit the link and open it up. I'm ready for you.
Yeah, I actually just logged in right now. Let me see.
All right, I'm about to hang up. But yeah, that's what it is. So that's right now. That's what we're doing. We're living life and learning. I'm building this network from the ground up, the Entrepreneur Life Network. We're gonna have more shows than just my show. Once it's all said and done, and I get the ball rolling for myself, I'm gonna be shooting other people podcasts, helping people start their podcasts, and I'm gonna be doing mobile podcasting. So if you're in the Atlanta, Metro Atlanta area, tap in with me. This podcast is also brought to you, sponsored by Bankroll Entertainment, the ultimate party experience, where we provide photography, videography, DJ services, and 360 photo booth services. But when it comes to the DJ services, we do not DJ at clubs, only private events, birthday parties, cabarets, or something like that. But no, I ain't gonna even say cabaret unless it's a family cabaret, a family gathering. But that's the kind of time we on.
Be Lane,
P Plain, what's going on, my guy?
what's going on with you?
Chilling, bro. Let me see. Let me get the view right.
Yeah, I ain't come in. I wish I could have came in with a clean cut, but you know, hey, we rolling.
Yeah, we definitely we gonna be on here more than once. You feel me? You really just helping me out, getting the ball
Yeah,
rolling. You feel me? I was telling them a little bit about you, how we've been knowing each other for about damn near 30 years. You feel me?
yeah, man. It's been about that long, man. If not longer. You know what I'm saying?
For real. They don't
So
even know it.
just you know, kind of, looking at everything, man. We done all, grew up and got into a lot of different things, man. And we done learn some lessons. We didn't, try to learn a few things, and we didn't start businesses, man. We, got into the workforce, and we said the workforce ain't for us, man. So we got to start our own business.
I hate going to work. I ain't gonna say I hate going to work every day, but
Well, no, we gonna keep it real, right? So, with the standard employment, man, we gotta have that to take care of it. So if anybody gonna deny that and say, hey, you supposed to start a business, you ain't supposed to work for a job. Well, you need combined income. Let's just keep it real, right?
yeah, you do.
Let's just keep it real. So that's just kind of what I'll be on, man. So just teaching, man, just going through the corporate world, man. It's been about going on 16 years now. Graduating from Garvey, man. And honestly, man, I tell, even to this day, a lot of the mentees that I have, man, I tell them the best education I ever got was from Garvey.
I agree.
That's the best education I ever got. And then I have mentees who try to look up, Garvey, because it's a lot of information on there. But when it comes to the founder, like our mentor that we all know, right? Dr. Harvey Hambrick, you can't find nothing on him.
That's crazy.
Yeah, you can't find nothing on him, man. But if you, like us, man, we walking with our eyes open, right?
Right.
So we know why, he's not seen, right? Or we know why he's not praised because of what that team really had engaged in terms of education with us.
Yeah, because like you said, we walk with our eyes open. He was teaching us the stuff about ourselves that they don't want us to know in the schools. You feel me?
Right. And this is stuff that we still use every day. We still use the same information that we learned from when we was, man, what, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years old?
Yeah.
We still use that education in our adulthood, man. And it's just seeing it, man, just from alumni I see in the city still, outside the city, no matter where we at, right? No matter where we are, like we really just coming up, man. We really, just coming to divide and conquer what we've been learning, man.
Hey, because listen, you got to think about it. We've been teaching ourselves, like you've been working in corporate and stuff like that, so you got a different view of it and you ahead of the game. But the average person, like even me, just making a transition from the streets to really learning how to start be real business about my business, and I still got a lot of information to learn, but just the fact that I'm seeking the knowledge to take that step is really like the most important thing, because You know what I'm saying? You can say, yeah, I'm a businessman or I'm an entrepreneur or whatever, but
Right.
you start learning how to structure that business right, start getting that credit in order, working on that business credit.
Man, it's a process, man. And
Yeah,
to be honest with you, man, anybody that has, a business, whether it's been 6 months, a year, 2 year, 3, 4, 5 years, there's always something to learn, right? There's always something to learn. So even with me starting my business this year, taking that, the education and the experience from the corporate environment, man, learning what that's really about.
yeah,
I'm taking that experience and bringing it to us, right? I'm bringing it to us. So now I done made it to the regional level. Really standing on us,
yeah,
man. And I've had, people that support that, and I've had people that were envious of that. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
it didn't stop the grind.
It can't stop the grind because we know what the goal is in the end. You feel me? We definitely know what the goal is. So
That's it, man. So I got, just like you, I'm sure, man. You got people that's, kind of, envious of what you're doing, right? Or you got people that's like, man, why you think he can get up and do this and do that, and you know what I mean? So it's just the mindset of elevation, right?
yeah,
It's the mindset of elevation. So, taking all of that information, man, making different connections in the community, and bringing that information back to us that we not even taught for real.
yeah,
Right.
yeah,
So we get out of, elementary school, middle school, we go to high school, we go to even college, right? So even when we go to college, a lot of the important things that we need to prevail in life, we don't even learn it.
yeah. You're right.
Right. We don't learn it there. So what we learn is how to further drive that engine and not our engine.
Yeah, because the average person who go to college when they graduate and they be in all that debt, they're not even finna get in the field for what they went to school with.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
listen, I want you to tell us about more about what you really do and how you really got into the positions that put you in the position that you in now for yourself. Because I know you was working in corporate. So coming from where you come from in our background in the hood and this and stuff like that. So how was it when you first got into corporate? How was that for you? How was that transition for you?
Man, let me see that. That's definitely a loaded question, my guy. But I'm gonna go ahead and answer that one, man, because it's an important one. So let's go back to when I was 22. When I was 22, I got in the workforce. I was in college.
Right.
I ain't finished it, but I was
Yeah.
in college.
Hey, I did 16 weeks. I had a blast in my 16 weeks.
Yeah, that's like a
In
lot.
one semester.
That's like a lot of us that went to college. Those that
I know you.
finished or even didn't finish. Right. Well, we
Hmm.
still had experiences that allowed us to understand where we want to go.
Right.
Right. So for me, going to college just for 6 months, that instantly told me, just looking at what they was teaching, right? This ain't for me and this ain't for us, right? So what I did was, because I always been watching black people, right? So if you remember back in Garvey, another mentor that we all had was Baba Shamar,
Yeah, I
right?
remember Baba Shamar.
So we all went through, shout out to Baba Shamar, by the way. We
Most
all,
definitely.
went through manhood, rites of passage. And Baba Shamar, he took me on this wing. Like he really taught me, history, man. He combined that with education. He combined it with civics. He combined it with academics. He combined it with scripture, right? So for me, I'm how old was I? 9, 10, 11 years old.
Yeah.
Real game,
And you got double promoted.
real game, man. And that's shout out again to Garvey, the Garvey alumni, the Garvey just the whole faculty, right? But going back to the college thing, right? So I stayed in there 6 months. And I'm like, I'm not gonna learn how to teach us here. I'm not gonna learn how to move us forward here. So I instantly jumped in the workforce. Instant. I left college behind, man. So I got in the workforce when I got into wireless. I started at in T-Mobile. Started at T-Mobile, man. Learned how to drive sales. I learned how to make commission, right? Because you got the hourly rate, then you got the commission.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, hey, I'm gonna get into this. I'm gonna learn how to make a living for myself. I'm gonna learn how to whatever I'm learning there. The team that's around me, I'm going to teach them whatever I'm learning as well too, because we are one unit, right? And I started in Detroit, in T-Mobile, on Gratiot and Harper. It's a Boost Mobile now, but it used to be a T-Mobile.
Oh yeah, you know that's my hood. That's my
Yeah. It used to be a T-Mobile, man. We used to grind a lot of phones out of there, man. Like a whole lot of phones. And a lot of cats remember that street from what was that strip club up the street? I hate to mention that, but it's Chi-Chi's, right?
No, I know. That's the
It's just the landmark. You know, we know I've been there. Let's just keep it real, right? So it's on the same street that Chi-Chi's was on. But from there, just getting that experience, getting the training, learning how to complete solutions to people that I'm dealing with. Man, I just took that and ran with it, man. Because what I was creating solutions for, who I was creating solutions for was us, right? So I'm like, man, I want to get into leadership doing this now. Like, I really want to get into leadership doing this, so that it was, from there, I'll just hit the ground running. So I looked into resources. I got into just like you, man, with Eric Thomas, man. I think he's excellent motivational speaker in terms of getting you to move. So I looked into different resources that, drove the education that I needed to prevail as a leader for us, right?
Right.
And being able to showcase that and stay committed to it and really be about us. Because what I'm gonna tell you, man, a lot of people ask me, like, well, how many programs have you been into as far as leadership? How many mentors have you had? I haven't had any mentors outside of Garden. I haven't had any mentors. The closest thing, let me not say that. Let's go back. So when we think about mentors, let's talk about family, right? So my mother, my superhero, right?
Mm-hmm.
My mother's my superhero. My father, Charles Smith, right? My other superhero, the man that showed me love. So I took all of that, man, and I created a leadership style that hasn't been taught. So a lot of the leadership stuff that people know nowadays, it don't matter where you're from or what part of the world you're from. It's all secular, right?
Right.
But what I saw was that approach don't work. It don't work on us.
Mm-hmm. We got to be hands on.
Yeah, that don't work on us. So if you deliver a training program, to one of us at a new job, and they say, study this, right? And they put you on the floor or, wherever you at, the next day or the next 2 days or whatever that looks like, right? How much of that do you actually retain? Like, do you feel motivated? Right?
Yeah.
And that was just more so my thing, just going through the corporate world, learning the processes, learning what works and learning what's effective for us. Because I've always kept it at the forefront. And a lot of people, they're like, oh, well, and I'm not racist. What I'm being is my primary focus is us. We're underappreciated and we're underrepresented.
Yeah, you're right about that. Most definitely, because we definitely all learning, and we definitely got to, just like how you say, you just kept digging. That's the thing right there. You got to want to know some more knowledge. You feel me? And then, like you say, school nowadays, school not school what it used to be. You feel me? We used to have teachers who would go spend their own money on pencils, papers, this, that, and the other.
Right.
But nowadays, it's like teachers treat teaching just like a regular ass job, like how I do when I go to work. You feel me?
Right.
When really they should make teachers take some kind of oath. I don't know if they do or they don't, but
right. So we don't really know, do we?
Yeah, they should take some kind of oath to uphold that they really care about the kids, because that's one of them jobs you got to really care more about the passion than the money. You feel me?
Yeah, and that's at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. Because like some of these positions I had, even as I rose up, and I was considerate, and I didn't even have to be. But as I was, going up, and negotiating salaries based on promotions or whatnot, I'm looking at the overall, right? So I'm looking at the company and where they are, wherever I'm employed at. I'm looking at the health of the company, and I'm looking at what's needed. So in some of these positions, bro, I actually took slightly below, what the salary that I desired.
Right.
I had an opportunity to cast a wider net for us.
Yeah, because the opportunity is priceless. Sometimes you got to do that.
Yeah, just to be able to cast a wider net for us, man. I did that for 15 years, man.
And you got to think about it. You not to cut you off. You say you went to college for 6 months. You decided it wasn't for you, but you got in the working field, and look how much information you learned. You weren't. I'm pretty sure that you learned way more information working
Man,
in 15 years if you would have than if you would have just stayed in college for 4 years. You know what I'm saying? So the Lord works in mysterious ways, and
he do, man. Listen, and then shout out to me. I forgot to start with that, man. Shout out to the Most High, and everything we doing, everything we trying to do.
most
You
definitely.
know what I mean? And then I should have started off with that, but I'm glad you caught me with that. By
Oh no, it's cool. You already know how we roll. How we know what it is. So what you have been in corporate and management leading roles for the past 15 years, why don't you tell us more about your company, VDMP, and what it stands for and what exactly do y'all do? You know what I'm saying? Let the people know so they can tap into your services, because I was letting them know that for sure we've been homeboys for a long time, and that you are helping me with my professional and personal development as far as speaking and things of that nature. So I was letting them know, like, this is episode 1, Living Life Learning Podcast. And anybody who continue to watch my journey, go watch me continue to grow, and it's just gonna get better and better and better. The quality go get better, the shows will get better, the question asking going to get better. You feel me? My articulation is going to get better, but you gotta watch me now to see me grow. If you do, you do. If you don't, you don't. I'm going to do it anyway.
Right.
I'm about to be making myself get very comfortable being uncomfortable. You feel me? So I'm like, I'm gonna go ahead and get you on the show with me for the first time, because you a person who been on my head for the past couple months. Like, bro, make that pop. So, and you helping me with my professional and personal development, things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? I just finished one of his training courses. It was very helpful and very informative. I'm glad I'm involved in it. You know what I'm saying? Because I need something like that.
No, I appreciate that, man.
Guy, but I come from the street, so I'm like the best of both worlds. But I got to work on this new world where I used to work in that old world. You feel me?
Right.
Because I'm stepping into a whole new waters, and I'm taking a leap of faith. You know what I'm saying? I'm out here.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? I'm stepping into a new territory. You know what I'm saying? Working on being a better father, husband. You know what I'm saying? I've been a daddy for 16 years, but I only been a husband for like 6 months. You feel me?
Right. I feel
being a husband is different from being a boyfriend. You know what I'm saying? So
big difference. Big difference, man.
Not to get off subject, you just tell us more about the company, bro, and the VDMP and what y'all do.
All right, got you. So first, man, it's a pleasure, man, that we even linking up, man, on something positive or productive, right? So I want to go ahead and mention that, man. It's a pleasure to even link up with you and send you things in terms of, additional learning. So I want to say that first and foremost, because we don't always, especially us, man, we don't always get the support in terms of what we know that someone else wants to know, right? We don't always get that support. So again, I want to, definitely thank you again for that. But as far as the VDMP, man, VDMP is vertical development made plain. And vertical development is upward development. So whatever that looks like per the individual, it's upward development, or, i.e. vertical.
I like that.
And that's what it's all about, man. And the slogan is climbing the ladder has a new meaning. And I get a lot of questions about that. And they say, well, what does that mean? I say, well, what do how do you perceive climbing the ladder when it comes to working at the job? They say getting promoted. I say, well, that's part of it.
Right.
They say, what you mean? I say, there's a whole learning curve, a whole process and a whole inner work process, right? So when you get into leadership, you make a decision to care about the person to your left and to your right, right? Mm-hmm. And up and down.
Yeah.
There's only so many individuals who can commit to that and be genuine about it and have the integrity about it, right? Have the transparency in how they move. And to be honest, man, watching black people, man, especially us watching black people, man, is what we can do. We're limited to nothing, man, has been inspiring to me. It's been inspiring to me, man. So, and that's why I stuck, with the leadership journey with us. Moving from the manager and trainer, right, to a team lead, to an assistant manager, to a store manager, to a district manager, to a regional director. I've done that with us fueling me, right?
Right.
I've done that with us fueling me, coupled with the Most High, right? So that information, just watching, leaders make mistakes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Also watching leaders, really thrive, in what they're doing. So my style was more so, gained from what I've observed and what I've learned and what I practiced, right? So vertical development made plain is a holistic leadership program, and it's aimed at addressing the transparency. It's aimed at addressing transparency in the leadership journey.
Yeah, I like that, bro. We definitely need that. You know what I'm saying? All the way around the board, just learning, climbing the ladder. Like one of my slogans is the one for the podcast for the network is dream, believe, and achieve. That's for entrepreneur, and then for the Living Life and Learning podcast. You know what I'm saying? It's educate, elevate, and generate. You feel me?
That's it.
You know what I'm
That's
saying? So that's all it is. You know what I'm saying?
And that's one thing about you, B man. We got the same virtues, man, the same principles. We walk in the same path when it comes to taking care of us and making sure we walk in the right path, right? So elevate, man. You can't do nothing without elevate.
And most importantly, gotta stay consistent. Like it be days I be like, man, but I gotta keep on going. You feel me? Like I gotta
Right.
keep on going. I gotta keep on going. You feel me? Like that's the only way. Like it's gonna be bad days. It's gonna be good days.
Yeah.
It's gonna be days I don't feel like it, but like from here on out, like I gotta keep on going. You know what I'm saying? I know what my end goal is, and the only way I'm going to get there is by putting some action behind them thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
faith without works is dead. So I can wish upon a star all I want to. So I start doing what we doing right now and do it with somebody else and do it with somebody else and do it with somebody else. It's never going to pop. So you know what I'm saying? I understand that. So that's why.
Man, and that's so important. And that's a lesson a lot of us miss when we first start our businesses, right? So when we first start our businesses, we automatically look at the dollar sign and just aim for that dollar. We just aim for that dollar sign as soon as we start the business. And that's, don't get me wrong, right? That's not, it's not wrong to think profit, but you got to think strategy, right? You got to think branding, you got to think marketing, you got to think about your target audience, right? What's your primary audience? What's your, your secondary audience? These are a lot of things that we aren't taught in school, right?
Right.
We
Even
taught,
me, like stuff like that. Like I'm learning about it, but that's stuff that you finna be incorporating in me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'll be watching the podcast that I watch. They be talking about scaling the business and having a structure and a system. Those are things that I need help with. You know what I'm saying?
no doubt, man, no doubt. And I'm gonna go ahead and just
Proper
share it
structure,
on this
you know what I'm saying?
podcast. I'm gonna go ahead and share it on this, man, because I know because I sent you that website, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now we share that, man. I mean that's your workspace. It has, like I was talking about, sales funnels, e-commerce, marketing,
Yes.
website building, landing page building, automation. All these amazing things that we don't even talk to nobody about. And then
Yeah.
we share the resources.
Yeah.
Right?
Because listen.
Yeah, so we got all of these classes and we got all of these teachers, but ain't nobody sharing nothing. So when they come to, what I do with VDMP, in the small unit we are right now, we all about giving the resources we got.
Yeah.
We have to, right? That's what we have to do. You can't hold on to game and not teach it.
No, you can't. That's why another reason why I'm doing what I'm doing, because I'm gonna be getting all the people that I know who got businesses, interested in business, who just out here on their grind, and we go talk about it. We go chop it up. We go get on here and give each other game. Well, I'm gonna put my audience in front of your audience. You go put your audience in front of my audience, and we just go build this big ass network. You feel me? And people
That's it, man. We got
generate.
to.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just the one who just go be tapping out and doing the interviews and hitting the streets. But that's what I do. That's what I've been doing. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I'm just doing things in a different manner now. And like you say, I'm learning so much new information. Like leaving Detroit, like the past year and a half, my mind being so like I always been on business and always been a businessman, you know what I'm saying? And
And
always
it's
one
fine.
thing about me, like I ain't perfect. So when stuff go wrong, I do my best to try to make it up to a customer or whoever, you know what I'm saying? So
And that's what it's all about, man. So speaking of customer service too, that is an opportunity with us, right? So
mhm,
I'm glad you touched on that. But what we got to understand is, if we operate a business, we have to operate it to a professional standard, right?
yeah,
And
yeah.
we have to take care of the customer.
Yeah, and look, us as black people, it's not everybody. It's like I ain't even gonna put a number out there. We got some of us who stand up to that professionalism, and we got some of us who don't in no kind of way. Then we got some of us who is, but they ain't. But at least they trying to do better. But because it's really about some. Listen, we the number one consumer in the world.
Number one.
As we the brokest culture, race, whatever you want to call us in the world. And then you got to think about it, it's 2023. I done moved to Georgia, man. Like 60, 70 years ago when it was racist and Martin Luther King and stuff was out here, was like in the 60s and 70s. That's only been 60, 70 years. That's not a long time.
That's not a long time. It's not.
It's 2023. That's not a long time. 60, 70 years and we just now, you know what I'm saying? Like hip hop 50 years old this year.
50 years ago.
That's not a long time. You feel me? People failing to realize
It's
that
not. It,
that's not a long time. That's all I can say is that's not a long time. Like we our parents grew up like I'm reading ET book UOU. He was talking about how his grandparents, great grandparents were sharecroppers and stuff like that. And then his mama and daddy, when they got jobs, the American dream was, especially up north, work for one of the big three, work there for 40 years, retire, get your pension, and you live in the fucking life. Nowadays, that's not the standard no more. That's nowhere near the standard. You feel me?
right.
Now, I couldn't see myself working 30 years at a job. I can see myself working for my company for 30 years. Let's go build up and help build my family up in generations to come. I can do that, but working at a job for 30 years, I'll jump off the fucking bridge.
Man, and then that's the thing, right? B? So that's the and I'm gonna just go ahead and come with it, man, because it's all about empowering us and also talking about truth, right? So what wasn't taught to us, man, is that the corporations aren't for us, right? That's something we didn't learn. So we can navigate through it and make progress through it. But in terms of retiring it from it with a fat check, a fat bank, that ain't for us. That ain't for me. That ain't, for you. That ain't for nobody listening to the podcast, right?
Man, listen, they don't want us to know about nothing.
Exactly. So that was something that was taught to us, but we didn't learn uh, just this, the kind of the holes in that story until we got older,
Hmm.
and then we started to adjust, right? We started to adjust it, and then we got on our grind, and then we started our businesses, which is where we should be. And for anybody that is kind of down about how things are, don't be down about it. Don't be down, because guess what? Especially us, we weren't taught, what to expect, right? We weren't taught to prepare for where we are now. Not if you didn't have privileged secular education, or if you didn't sell out.
Right.
We didn't get that information. So, anybody that has a small business, keep going,
Yeah,
keep
definitely.
keep send that post, right? Send that picture, send that email, follow up with that client.
Because what's the slogan? Every big business was once a small business. You feel me?
There you go. There you go.
Real.
And that's just what it is, man. So just like you, man, gaining customers, day by day, right? Week by week. It's gradually building. Same thing for us, the same thing for a lot of small businesses that we doing. But we got to stay committed to that process and not be defeated by what's going on around us.
Man, listen, that'd be so easier said than done. Cause
yeah, that's true. That's
I'm
true.
going because I'm just being real. But you gotta keep that mindset because I'm going through the thing right now. Like I just moved out of state and I'm used to being or having some kind of flow with my business, and I don't have no flow right now. But I'm working on it. I'm finna make it.
Let me. I'm about to stop you right there, bro. You got to flow, right? You got to flow. So like I was saying earlier, because you already got the talent, you already got the brand. It's crispy, man, and there's a lot of amazing things you can get ready to do with that. But what we are learning is that the support of the world ain't there. It's the support of how we connecting right now.
Right.
That's what's going to get us there. Is not through traditional marketing.
Hey, what they say? We building our own table. We got to build your own table these days.
Exactly. It's not through traditional marketing. It's not through traditional social media marketing or email marketing. These things work. But what I'm saying is to continually make progress, this needs
relationships. You gotta build relationships.
Right. This has to happen.
Like I'm going to the podcast summit the end of this month, so I'm gonna be in a room with different people, like not so much even millionaires, but people who really know how the game work, really get money, really network, and really building. Like they live in that real entrepreneur life. Like they got meetings and interviews, and they got payroll, and they paying people. You feel me? Like the level that we headed to. You know what I'm saying? That's part of it. That's how you build generational wealth and break the curse. You feel me?
Yeah, man, breaking curses.
I used to be one of the men that leave an inheritance to his children's children. You feel me? I gotta be one of them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I'm gonna be one of them. I am one of them. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna speak it like it's here. You know what I'm saying? So that's most definitely for real, for real.
And that's just what it is. Like you said about them curses, man. We wouldn't always talk, what we should focus on, from the start, right? Well, we learned that from Garvey, but we had to obviously live life, right? We had to gain experiences. We had to bump our head, right? But we got a great foundation, but everybody didn't get that foundation, right? But it's just about understanding different walks of life. Because what I see with us, man, especially as a small business owner, man, we quick to say, well, what can you do for me?
Right.
We quick to say that. But and that real question should be, well, what do you do? Right? What is the brand about? And how can I support you based on what I do?
Yeah, because like me right now, where I'm at with it, I'm just want to serve. Like I just want to serve, like and get out here and I mean this is just the beginning of something that's gonna be beautiful. So I'm not even tripping, man. It's like day one at basketball practice or something on the championship team. You feel me?
Exactly.
So I'm just gonna embrace it. You feel me? And I'm glad I got on here today, and I'm glad I got you on the call. We've been on the call for almost like 40 minutes.
Man, I ain't even, you know what, bro? I ain't even realized it. It's been 40 minutes, man. So
that's good though. We had a good talk. That's good because I'm looking at it. My episode's gonna be somewhere between 30 minutes to an hour, depends on how the flow of the conversation go or wherever the case may be. So I definitely appreciate my man T Plain getting on vertical development made plain. You feel me? That's the website right there. I'm gonna drop the IG for y'all so y'all can go on there and follow him on IG, man. If you serious about your business and growing your business and learning how to scale your business and just be more professional and be, even if you already got a business that's going decent or going good and you want to learn how to be a more effective leader, this is one of the people that you need to be reaching out to. You feel me? So you can scale your business and get into the next level, man. So, bro, before we get up out of here, just Living Life Learning Podcast, man. We thank you for your time and stuff. And just give us some words of wisdom or just some quick advice or something on as far as how you've been living life and learning, and just give us some words of advice.
No, I appreciate that. So if I were to think of words of advice right now, especially with everything going on right now, as far as all the layoffs and all this stuff crashing and all the loss that we experiencing right now, the best advice I can give us, man, is stay attached, man. Stay attached to the Most High. Stay attached to the Word, right? Stay attached to the family that supports you, right? Those who love you, reciprocate their love and stay consistent with it. Had genuine intent, right? Have integrity about it, right? That's the most important thing any of us can do right now. And on top of the networking all of us are doing, stay committed to that too. Because guess what? You putting somebody else on puts you on. And we don't teach that. Again, you putting somebody else on puts you on.
Yeah, it's enough money for everybody.
Advice I can give anybody right now.
It's enough for everybody. It's enough money for everybody to be rich and wealthy. You feel me? Like I be listening to Pastor PJ Tyers. He Eric Thomas head preacher at APOC, and he always say you supposed to live an abundant life, man. If you living right and you doing what you're supposed to do, your life is supposed to be abundant. So that's what we working on. The steps of living that abundant life, man. You feel me?
That's it. That's it, man. And I missed this part. It was super important. But to add to the advice I gave, discernment. Having some discernment and those you interact with, right? So let's pay attention to the signs that we get from others, right? So if you're getting good energy, this consistent good energy, then you reciprocate that good energy, right?
Right.
If you have somebody who's just falling through the cracks, you can't get them to do nothing. You can't get them to to pick up the phone. You can't get them to respond to an email. You can't get them to commit to a job that you paid them for, right? Or something that they're working on you for. You have an open and honest conversation with that person. You never know what's going on. And these are just things that I try to tell different, mentees and even small business owners, because we all have so much going on. Don't have opinions in your mind without having a conversation.
Right.
Have open dialogue first, and then you can make a determination from there.
Most definitely.
And I'm gonna close it out on that, man. B, man, I appreciate you, man. This is like I said, it's an honor, man. It's an honor and a pleasure.
It's all love, man. We finna go up, man. It's your boy BJ Langdon, your boy T Plain, man. The Living Life and Learning Podcast, episode 1. That's on the Entrepreneur Life Network, where we dream, believe, and achieve, man. We out.
Achieve, man. We out.